Hi, everybody. I'm DJ Foster, joined by Grand Valley State head football coach Matt Mitchell as the Lakers prepare for their playoff game on the road this Saturday at Ashland at noon. Mitch, before we get into talking about Ashland, a 24-17 victory over Saginaw Valley State last weekend to close the regular season, and then you kind of played a little bit of the waiting game. The win pretty much assured you were going to be in, but until you see your name on the screen, it probably wasn't a definitive, at least in your mind. Talk about last week's win and then kind of the hours after it and kind of waiting to make sure that you did make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, we knew the Saginaw game was going to be difficult. Like I said all week, they had a good defense. It was a physical defense, and we didn't help ourselves at all because, we had 3 turnovers, and one of those was obviously for a pick 6. But I thought our defense came to play and really gave up 1 touchdown the entire game. And then after that, I think we were, in the locker room, we were excited about the win. I think we felt like we had a pretty good chance, but until we saw the name pop up, even the way the bracket kind of shook out, there's a little bit some changes and some things happened. I wasn't 100% sure we were going to move out of the 7th spot, move up to the 6th. You see the matchup against Ashland. I think you're all excited that you can continue to extend your season no matter who you're playing. We get the opportunity to go back down there and get a chance to play those guys again. I think our players are specifically excited about that opportunity.
I know you've talked about this a couple times already, but it is a unique opportunity to play a team again. Obviously, a few years ago you did that against Saginaw consecutive weeks. Both of those were here in Lever Stadium, but you go back to Ashland, so you can pretty much keep the same travel plans and everything. Talk about just kind of what that means to get another shot to go back and maybe a shot at redemption.
Well, I think it's unique to be one of 28 teams in the nation to be competing, and you don't ever want to take that for granted. And I think the second thing is we've had a lot of history here of playing some league opponents the second time around the playoffs. We did that with Ashland in 2008. We had a really tight ball game with here at home, got a chance to play them in the playoffs. And then 2009, Hillsdale beat us, and we played them in the playoffs. And like you said, 2 years ago, 2013 was very unique, playing them back-to-back weeks. So it's a pretty quick turnaround for both of us. This 3 weeks ago we were up there, and they had a bye the last week, so they've played, the last 3 games. GV will be 2 of the 3 games. And so that provides a lot of really unique opportunities for our coaches and our players to try to figure out, hey, what do we do right that maybe we can play off of? What do we do wrong that we get corrected? And there's a little bit of, back and forth that has to go with some of your game planning when you face somebody that's so familiar.
We talked, obviously, after that game, a 45-31 Ashland victory. You left some points on the board, which I'm sure you've talked about before. Now looking back at the tape a few weeks later, did anything else kind of stick out? What can you improve upon against Ashland?
Well, I think from a negative standpoint, we had a lot of penalties on the defensive side of the ball, and some of those penalties really hurt our defense by extending drives, giving them first downs, allowing some things to happen. And we had some defensive holding calls. We had a face mask call. We had some things that are, I would say, are compete penalties, not so much us being idiots, but more just competition plays that we got to try to get cleaned up a little bit. And then, the red zone, that's been well documented. We had a guy wide open, dropped a ball, and another guy was, probably should have been a pitch and catch for a touchdown. So, from the positive standpoint, our quarterback was protected. Look at the tape. He was on the ground once on a bad snap. Other than that, Bart was upright for most of the deal. So we're really anticipating that they're going to, make a concerted effort to try to hit Bart, and bring a lot more pressure and probably bring some cover zero and do some things. And so we've got to be a little bit prepared for that because that's one thing I think we did a really good job of is protecting Bart Williams in that game.
How do you prepare for a game like this, a playoff game, a game against an opponent you just played a few weeks ago? Does anything change in your weekly preparations?
I don't think so. I think it's important heading into this game that our players are fresh. This is going to be obviously our 12th straight week of football. We didn't have a bye. We didn't have any really down games. You add in preseason camp. So, I think you get to this point in the season, maybe a little bit more mental, more tape, a few more walkthroughs than maybe some of the physical reps that way. So we've tried to balance the game plan process, not getting too far out of what we're used to, but also making sure we have a fresh football team heading into that game because this season, it's especially at our level, we don't have cake games, easy games. I mean, it's been a very long season for our players, and they've got to be both mentally and I think probably more importantly physically fresh heading into that contest.
It's obviously a team you know well. What do you think are the biggest keys for you guys to come out with a road victory this weekend?
Well, I think we did a good job of this last time. We had one pick kind of late because we were throwing it so much, but we did, good ball security, didn't really turn the ball over. That's going to continue to be big, and the explosive play things. We gave a lot of explosive plays in the first half, so especially trying to limit those. I think the other thing is third downs. I think defensively we got to try to get off the field a little bit better on third down. We didn't do as good a job as we could have on that end of things and trying to look at ways to try to improve our third down, getting off the field. But they present challenge, a really good football game. Just like last time, those were 2 good football teams, out there playing hard, and I expect the same type of contest this Saturday.
Two of the top 15 teams in the country will meet in Ashland this weekend. It's a noon start between Grand Valley State and Ashland. If you can't make it out to the game, you can certainly follow it on the radio and Grand Valley Sports Network, and the game will be aired live on Xfinity Comcast throughout the state of Michigan. So check it out there. You can go to GVSULakers.com for all that information as well. Mitch, thanks for your time and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.